Salutare și bine v-am găsit pe startup.ro, unde astăzi vom discuta despre îmbinarea dintre inteligența artificială, agenții AI și investiții. Nu cu un startup din România, așa cum vom ști, ci cu un startup care a pornit în Bulgaria, se numește Edge Hound, care construiește practic o platformă ce poate să ofere sfaturi investitorilor de orice fel prin agentic AI. Iar pentru acest interviu vom trece în engleză, and I'm switching abruptly to English right now to welcome Peter Pavlov, the CEO of Edge Hound. Hi, Peter.
Yes, thank you for having me here today.
It's a pleasure. So Edge Hound is on the market for roughly 6 months. And from what I know, you have right now around 6,000 users. You basically generate investments ideas for retail investors and so on. But just let's start by the initial idea of Edge Hound. How did you decide to mix agentic AI with a tool for investors, and what did you identify on the market?
Right. Yeah. Well, the idea, it was incepted probably in 2021, straight after the COVID crisis. Me and my brother, we had a rather large account to invest in the capital markets. He had a successful exit from one of his previous ventures, and then, during this process of gathering intelligence and deciding where to invest our money, we realized that there isn't a single tool that combines all the possible aspects to give you a 360-degree overview of a given company, let's say, or a given asset that you want to trade. So we decided that at some point we want to establish a company and start doing this research in an automated fashion and deliver the intelligence to broader audience, not only for ourselves, but also for other users that might be interested in paying for that. Or if not, just to, serve them at least some free premium content that can help people invest in the capital markets. We're primarily focused on the US stocks right now, but we're looking to expand into global coverage of assets.
So just to set up the basics here, for retail investors, not for the institutional ones, this process of researching the stocks, the companies they want to invest in, is a tedious one. You read blogs, you read websites, you have some analytics, some data, some apps offer data. Comparing to the institutional ones that have state-of-the-art tools, I don't know, the bigger ones have their Bloomberg terminals and so on. So when did you decide that the moment is right for this kind of tool? And I'm thinking from a technological point of view, because with the development of AI and agentic AI, it's maybe easier to mix these sources of informations right now.
Absolutely, yeah. At the time of founding the company, the AI wasn't so advanced even back then. So our whole idea was more to go into the traditional approaches of using AI back then, like natural language processing, machine learning, and that kind of stuff. But all of a sudden, this whole revolution of the AI happened, and we just saw the opportunity. It's kind of we were there at the right time to start experimenting with the AI and see what it is capable of, and then we quickly realized this is the next wave in the personal finance and how people would invest going forward, especially Gen Z and millennials. And maybe later we can discuss a bit more about who is using the platform. But nowadays you have TikTok, YouTube, you have all kind of video streaming applications, and the attention span of the user is just a few seconds. You need to find a way how to simplify the things for the user so they can consume the information straight away, the important information. Who has 3 hours for research every single day? That's for a regular everyday person that goes to work 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, having a couple of kids, it's impossible. That's too much of a burden. So AI, thanks to the AI nowadays, we are capable of delivering and boiling down everything into actionable items in a matter of a few minutes.
Talking about the platform, and I invite everyone who is looking to research it also. You offer traditional stocks investments, FX, ETFs, and so on. And I mentioned that you generate investment ideas. I call them like this. So what's the competitive advantage of Edge Hound? What does it offer to the user?
Yeah. Okay. So we call it trade ideas because at every single point when you look at the market, you can make a snapshot and you can determine where each asset is sitting right now. Is it a good time to invest or is it not? Or what could be the risks there? What is the potential for each of the directions? Because you can be short on the market, right? It's not only the long positions. But what would be the competitive edge in Edge Hound? That is the distilled knowledge. What we do with the AI agents is we're trying to embed industry knowledge from experts that are working professionally in this domain for the past 30 years. They're helping us distill their hands-on experience into the agents that we are deploying on our backend. And thanks to their expertise, we're now capable of analyzing the assets through the professional pair of eyes. Because what the retail investors are struggling is mainly how to put all the available information under the same context. You can open Yahoo Finance, or you can go on X or on Reddit. You can gather a lot of information. Sometimes it's hard to determine whether it's really reliable. Sometimes it might sound okay, but at the end of the day, you need to have also some financial background to put everything into the same context and decide, okay, now I have confirmation of my bias. Let's say I want to go long NVIDIA. Now is the right time. I will pull the trigger, because the biggest hesitation a user has is usually when to pull the trigger, right? And thanks to the industry expertise and industry knowledge, we are now capable of removing this barrier or lower the barrier for the retail investors, so they can get access to that knowledge out of the box without even be worried about it. And thanks to the AI, it is all explainable. So we oftentimes refer to ourselves as explainable AI, because the trade ideas that we provide, or the investment ideas that are available on our platform, they come with full reasoning and potential risks that are out there and people should be aware of. What are the potential catalysts to monitor? So for everyone who wants to deep dive into the matter, they can go and read it. But if you are a person that lacks the time to spend on reading, then you have all the important attributes available at your immediate attention, and yeah, you can consume that information. This is the secret sauce there. This is the edge. Traditional platforms providing investment ideas, they're usually a black box. You never know what was used in the background to provide that idea in front of your face. Nowadays, thanks to the AI and our distilled knowledge in the AI agents, this is looking totally different. It's fully transparent.
The last few days, I set up an account on Edge Hound just to see how the product is working, and I saw there a number. I think for the last 30 days, the success rate, basically the rate when the investments and the ideas turned into profit for users. Is this a metric that you are following? And if you are following, how successful are the investments that are made by the people through this advisory board that is Edge Hound right now?
Right. So there are a couple of aspects here that we need to be aware of. First, we are not executing trades on our platform. We don't have the brokerage license, so we cannot monitor the actual performance of the users unless they want to share it, through their watch lists with us. But other than that, yeah, we do monitor the performance of the trade ideas that we create on our platform and whether they were successful or not, and what kind of a profit could have been recorded by a user that is following that trade idea. So starting from mid of March, if I'm not wrong, we released a major update on our AI agents, which increased the overall performance up to 65 to 70% of the time. So this is our win rate that we claim, and it can be proven. Everything is available on the platform. In terms of potential revenue or potential return, it really depends on what is your basket of assets that you are monitoring. There are portfolios in which we, of course, do better in contrast with some others. Let's say semiconductors, we didn't do so well, while on the Magnificent 7, we did pretty good. On the defense sector, for example, the overall sector was down. We were also slightly down, but a lot better than compared to the market. So it really depends on the timing and the assets that you are choosing. But all in all, we see the probably on average 3 to 5% alpha comparing to the market buy and hold strategy, let's say. And this works well in bearish markets and in bullish markets, because if you remember, March was pretty rough for the global economy in general with the war in Iran. And now everything turned upside down, and it's going back positive. So we are trying to stay to provide the edge and stay on the top of the wave and provide analytics that are really profitable for the users. We don't want to scam anyone.
Yeah, of course. And I'm glad that you mentioned this, and it's important for the people who are watching. And I know they know, but I have to repeat it. It's whenever you invest in stocks, in ETFs and so on, there's a risk involved. Nobody can guarantee you anything. But you mentioned the users and how they are using the platform. Which kind of users are using right now Edge Hound? And I wanted to ask you, which is from this roughly 6,000 people that are having accounts on Edge Hound, what kind of user is the Edge Hound market right now?
Right, that's an interesting question. We started collecting some user related, how to say, information that can better profile the users on our platform without personalizing too much the experience, because that requires other types of regulation purely from legal standpoint of view. So what we observe is the majority of the users on our platform, 85% of them are anywhere between 25 and 50 years old. So that is exactly Gen Z and millennials. These are the people that are active on the internet. They have access to a wide set of information streams. They actively monitor the news, the social medias. They watch videos on YouTube. These are the people that have the urge to invest some money, and they are also having some excess income, right? Another aspect that you can look at it is we're asking them how proficient they are with investing. So probably up to 70% of them declare that they are either just starting or up to a year into the investments. So these are people that are craving to get some additional knowledge, get a direction into investments, and we're there to support their path. In terms of risk, it is interesting to know that most of them are okay with a moderate risk. They're not too conservative. These are people exactly at that stage in their life when losing some money is probably not such of an issue, and it wouldn't probably change their lifestyle. So they're happy to risk a bit more. Yeah, that's generally it.
Coming back to the point of using AI in developing this kind of ideas and so on, do you believe that right now agentic AI in these financial markets are an advantage, and how much time they will be an advantage? Because there is this debate of, if, for example, your product is using agentic AI, they will be launched maybe another products that are using. The use of agentic AI will not be an advantage, a competitive advantage so much, because the marketing is so fast moving. So how much time do you believe agentic will still be a competitive advantage?
Well, whether you call it agentic or something else in a year time from now, that is something that we are yet to observe. But I truly believe that the syndication between the responsibilities in investments will prevail, and it will be still there, because what agentic AI now in capital markets does is it is just replacing positions that are existing even nowadays and have been existing for the past 15 years in the capital markets. These are people that are conducting specific types of research. One of them is doing fundamental analysis, the other one is monitoring the news streams, a third one is just price chart specialist. There could be a guy that is responsible for the macro framework around a given country, a given company, a given sector. These are all highly specialized positions in a hedge fund, even if you wish. So AI agents are now replicating their knowledge and their behavior. So I truly believe that this is the future of the finance domain in general, not only in capital markets. That would be probably replicated into banks and all traditional institutions that are into finance sector in general. Because at the end of the day, if there are strict rules that can describe what you're doing on a daily basis, then your job is probably under threat of being replaced. I myself am an IT guy. I've been into IT for the past 20 years, and now, 5 years ago we were just going around through in all the universities here in Varna, let's say, where I'm living, asking for people, for talents to help us, grow our companies. Now it's the other way around. We don't need juniors, we don't need intermediate people even. We're just, getting replaced slowly, day by day, by the AI guys. And AI agents will be there. Whether you call them agents or something else, this is how it will be going forward for sure.
I know that Edge Hound is developed through bootstrapping. You didn't receive an external investment so far. And I will use a question that is usually asked by the investors. How vulnerable do you think is Edge Hound in becoming a feature for I don't know, a bigger investment platform, an FX platform in the future?
So probably I can slightly rephrase your way of thinking, because we are actively raising capital right now, and we bootstrapped it for the past 2.5 years. It's a lot of financial burden on our arms. But the question which we generally hear is, how do you protect yourself from becoming a feature in a large language model? Because investment platforms are probably something that we look at potential partners. So we can become an add-on for them. Let's say Interactive Brokers or Fidelity or other large names that are out there. But in comparison with the large language models, see, these are generalistic machines. They like to cover a lot of different aspects in the world, but when you need to build a vertical expert or a vertical specialist, let's say in the financial domain, then you face the challenge of how do you get the data, how do you license that data to redistribute it, and how do you guarantee that all the information that you provide is not highly specific to the single user, and you're not providing investment advices. These are some important points that the regulatory bodies are looking and strictly monitoring every single day. So what I would say in our defense is getting access to that top-notch data sets that, let's say, institutions usually have would be a huge limit for the large language models. Because imagine a company like Bloomberg or the one that we are working with called FactSet would have to, license their data through a large language model. That would mean that they would kill all their B2B partnerships with all the other companies like ourselves. And I think that would be too much of a hustle for such data vendors to go in that direction. That's just one of the aspects, of course. There are many others, like, for example, how do you backtrack your performance on a historical manner? Large language model usually have access to publicly available data on the internet, or what is the situation right now at this very moment. But it's really hard for them to tell you what it was like 10 days ago, 73 days ago, or 250 days ago, right? This is something that a platform that has built data pipelines, has its own data lake, can answer those questions like ours. But large language models would have to really solve these tasks, and I doubt they'll go in that direction anytime soon.
Yeah, and because you mentioned that you are currently raising, tell me more about this round you want to raise.
Yeah, well, we're looking to raise $2 million to support our growth. Like I said, we are covering just US listed equities right now, and the 20 or something major forex pairs, gold and silver, because this was people were crazy in gold and silver past year. But we want to cover also UK, EU market, Southeast Asia. We want to go into crypto as well. ETFs, by the way, you mentioned it a couple of times. Yeah. It's also on our roadmap, but we currently do not cover it entirely. So growing up into the coverage of all the assets and going into multiple markets requires it's a capital intensive procedure. For that reason, we're looking for some strategic partners that help us grow and support our journey. I know, of course, that these investors should be capable of opening some doors, getting us connected with people from this domain. So this is what it looks like. We're happy to discuss this matter, of course, with whoever is interested. We are already in conversations with several potential funds, some here in Bulgaria, some abroad. Some are investing in Central and Eastern Europe. It turns out that Central and Eastern Europe is kind of undervalued, and I think it possesses huge opportunity for these venture capitalists to find the next unicorn. Whether we can be one of them, hope so. Time will tell.
Indeed. And going back a bit to the product, because you mentioned some of the things you are covering right now on the platform, some of the things you want to cover, of course. What is the most complex issue or type of investment, let's call it general, that you have right now, or that is difficult to negotiate through this compilation of data and then giving the users good advice on investments? What are the most complex things?
Yeah, from technical perspective, it's really hard to put together structured and non-structured data. Structured data is everything that you can put in a tabular form, in a table, like Excel-like.
Yeah.
And this is something that you normally get from the traditional data vendors, like FactSet. I mentioned that name several times already. But putting it together next to unstructured data, like transcripts from videos or 500 comments from social media, it's hard to put everything into the same context and kind of make sense of it and say, okay, market is positive, the social sentiment is positive, people are talking about this particular company, someone has spotted something also here, there is someone probably is monitoring the private jet of the CEO of that company, where it flew to, where it visited some important area in US. I don't know. There is always someone in the know. There is always some hidden knowledge out there that we're also trying to pick up and kind of give it more focus to it and kind of direct the attention into that specific thing, because at the end of the day, you want to be one of those 5% of the early adopters of the idea, and not the other 95% of the loggers, because the initial movement and the initial, let's say, the potential for your profit is probably hidden in this 5% of the people. The rest, they can still record some profit, but it would be much limited. That is purely from technical perspective. The other challenge is how to distill knowledge that would be capable of behaving well in all market conditions. This is virtually impossible, and I'll be clear here. You can be like 60-70% of the time correct. You can know how to react in certain situations that you have seen in the past, but you would never know what the market would challenge you with. So you need to kind of trick it. You need to create your KPIs, your metrics to monitor on a macro, on a micro level, and then based on these indicators, you kind of start building a picture whether now it's a volatile time, so you need to reduce your risk, or it's a more quiet time, so you can afford being more aggressive with your investments. This is something that really needs lots of tuning all the time. There are a lot of knobs that you need to turn, and all these buttons that you need to adjust into a perfect condition. It can work only for a certain period of time. On the next day, on the next month, it starts to shift. So I think thanks to the AI, we have some flexibility. We can let it, experiment even if you wish slightly, give it some room for thinking and how to behave. And this is what we're trying to do. Let's say in the overall end analytics that we provide, it's probably 80 to 90% knowledge that we have embedded and distilled, but we still leave some room for the AI to, be experimenting with its thinking, right?
So basically, what you're mentioning is one of the most difficult part is not crunching the data. It's of course complicated, but this I would almost call it sentiment analysis. How the market is moving, how the market is feeling, because you can have all the numbers in the world.
Exactly, and there are already several examples of quant funds, hedge funds that they have hired hundreds of great mathematicians, PhDs. They are good in crunching numbers, and they probably have already experimented and tried every possible scenario and situation on the market, and they know the possible outcome. And they're first to react. They are running their high-frequency trading machines that react in nanoseconds, so you cannot compete with them. Yeah. They are there to pick the initial move in the first, let's say, few milliseconds of the time, and then they are done. They're happy with what they did. But it is not what the actual people are interested in. If you are a real living being, then you cannot react in such time, and normally no one would care. Most of the people invest with a time horizon that is beyond several weeks even. There are more speculative players. There are people that are just very relaxed and invest once per month. We're trying to cover all these aspects. Although right now we usually cover anyone interested in investing in 1 to 2 weeks. So in this time span, our trade ideas usually turn out to be either profitable. They could be closed for some loss, but all in all, we're looking to expand also the potential strategies that we cover for all types of investors that are out there.
But because you mentioned this discrepancy in the market, the big investors, the hedge funds have all the tools in the world at their disposal and the automations and so on. But this general public, this mass market of retail investors are scrambling for information. But if you were to compare, maybe let's do a metaphor. I don't know. I'm thinking, I don't know if you're passionate about cars. I wanted to do this metaphor with cars. What does a retail investor has, and what does a specialized, very skilled investor, I don't know, from a hedge fund has at his or her disposal when investing? Because this is the discrepancy in the market.
Right. So what is the discrepancy there? Well, they have all the tools and all the means how to get alpha from the market, but they would still generate only 60% of the trade volume. 30 to 40% from the volume of each trade on the market is governed by the retail traders. And this number is only growing. There are 150 million retail accounts globally opened right now. 45 to 50 million of these accounts are governed by people that are totally self-directed. They have no access to any investment advisors. They don't work with some expensive bank representatives or investment advisors of any type. So these people still want to invest their money. They have some capital that needs to enter the market. There is liquidity in their hands, and they will invest it sooner or later. So the biggest advantage there is that you saw the GME meme saga, the AMC also, back in 2021, I guess it was again the year. The crowd is capable of moving the needle, something that everyone was doubting from the professional industry. Even this huge fund that was Citadel was behind their back. It went down because they were just betting against the retail, and the retail proved them wrong. So if I would say, let's say, using the car metaphor that you said, they can have the most expensive Lambo and they want to drive on the highway, but if in front of them there are like five Volkswagen Golfs occupying each of the lines, they can never overtake them. They would be always driving behind them because the retail has the power to pile together and control the stream of a given asset. I don't know. So that's how I can probably describe it.
That's a good metaphor. And I just wanted to ask you if on the longer term roadmap for Edge Hound, do you see the platform as remaining a tool that gives tips, advisory to retail investors, or do you intend on the long term to automate more the platform? Of course, coming under the regulations and so on. But do you see Edge Hound as an automated platform, or just an advisory one?
Yeah, that's an awesome question, because we've been asking this ourselves for the past few months as well. We get a lot of inquiries from users. When are you going to bring trading on this platform? Because I see the trade idea. Why do I need to bother opening my other application with my broker and execute the trade there, going back and forth? That sometimes could be overwhelming for the users. Plus, for us as business owners, it's good to have everyone in our ecosystem and just keep the users within ourselves. So yes, simply the simple answer to this question is yes, we do want to get regulated going forward, probably with the help of our potential investors that would support us to obtain these licenses. And it's a natural evolution for a platform like ours to automate everything, bring trading also on the platform, and execute the trade ideas and these investment advices that we provide. But not only that, we're also thinking about the potential applications of the investment advices on a more massive scale, like an asset manager, if you wish. So we can be responsible for managing some capital, because one of our advisors, even he's a current portfolio manager in a hedge fund. That's his actual position. That's what he does. He's controlling $300 million. Right now, so it would be a natural evolution also in that direction. Probably on a slightly longer term, let's say in a couple of 3 years. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, indeed. And just out of curiosity, because there's this worry. You mentioned that you are working with data from FactSet, and basically you are buying the data from them.
Totally. We have several data vendors, but
of course,
it's one of the most important names.
How cost intensive is for you?
That's one of the most expensive things right now. To be honest, apart from paying salaries to the development team, the other two major costs for us would be the infrastructure where we host everything. That is the cloud infrastructure, and the data that we had access to. There is virtually no limit in how much money you can spend on data in the financial markets right now. you really have to. It's like a la carte menu, so you can just select what you want, and the cost goes incrementally, up. It is still manageable. And it's really hard to pay for premium data sets, redistribute them to retail traders, and still persuade them that they get something for really cheap that is a premium data, right? Because this very same data is being sold to the institutions, to the hedge funds, pension funds, trading desks at trading banks, and yet I do feel sometimes that retail traders underestimate the quality of the data that is available, especially on our platform, because we're not scraping just some random data available on websites like, again, Yahoo Finance or something else, or TradingView. Getting access to these premium data sets is costly, and it brings additional value. Getting that win rate up to the 70% mark, it's a huge challenge, and it would not be possible with just publicly available data. That is one of the differences that retail traders need to realize. Otherwise, each of them they can try getting a Bloomberg terminal, which costs $30,000 per year to start with. That's not with all the add-ons. So that's an essential part of being successful in the financial markets, for sure. Data access.
Yeah, indeed. Peter, thank you so much for all the details, and good luck in fundraising and developing the platform.
Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity and this tribune to share our experience so far. I'm looking forward to share more as we go forward, and hopefully we'll meet again, and we can have more stories to tell.
Thank you so much, and thank you all. I will switch again to Romanian. Vă mulțumesc foarte mult că ne-ați urmărit. Puteți să intrați, o să aveți link-uri în descriere și pe site către Edge Hound pentru a descoperi platforma. Puteți să vă faceți un cont acolo. Nu luăm niciun comision pentru a spune asta, ci pur și simplu pentru a încerca și a verifica dacă ceea ce am discutat noi aici se aplică și în realitate. Eu sunt Vlad Andriescu și vă urez o zi faină.